it's John Trout, Cider Blossom Orchard. It's Saturday, the day before Easter. It's a beautiful day. We reached about 65 degrees today. Had some clouds move in and a little bit of rain. Not enough rain to do much good. We're really about 2 weeks since we've had a decent rain. I would take a little bit, but blossoms are out right now, and I'm never real excited about rain when we have blossoms. We've had a couple of really warm days, around 80 degrees, that were probably good pollination days, but then not all the trees were quite out yet. This is Liberty behind me. Liberty's been out since Monday, so almost a full week. Some of the others are lagging behind, as apple trees do. But we've had some good days and some bad days. We've had some storms. It's been pretty cool. Yesterday and the day before was really windy. Not good pollination days there, but today's just been a gem. Light wind and sunshine, some decent warmth, and I'm sure there's some activity with insects in the trees. I wanted to take you around and just look at a few of the trees, and we can look at a few of our pruning decisions that we made and maybe how that's worked for or against us. And I also want to show you some of the hardening off problems that I had out here on the tall spindle with some of the trees I grafted last year. So happy Easter, and let's go take a look at apple blossoms. This is the Golden Delicious. This tree and I have a love-hate relationship. It's a very vigorous tree. I've gotten maybe one just really strong crop off of it, and I know Golden Delicious tends to be biennial. I'm not sure I even get that out of this tree. It's going to have a small crop this year. It's got some flowers. They're just starting. They're definitely later. I think Golden Delicious is listed as a mid-season bloomer. I would almost throw it into the late season category, at least here where I'm at. Here you can see Liberty. This is the tree that we pruned on video just a short time ago, and we left a lot of blossoms. And I don't have large branches in the top portions of my semi-dwarfs, but you can see the branches I do have are just loaded with fruit. Now this summer we'll continue to watch and see what kind of vigorous regrowth we might have up here in this tree, and you can already begin to see some of the regrowth. But let's enjoy the blossoms while we've got them. Liberty, well, he's not going to be strong for too much longer. Just a couple more days, and then we'll be into petal fall with Liberty. And here's another Liberty. This tree was grafted, 5 or 6 years ago. It was grafted off, I had another tree growing here and I grafted it over to Liberty. Here's a Fuji apple tree. Worth noting that it's flowering right here with Liberty, just slightly behind. And over here is the Empire, and this tree is, of course, blooming pretty much right there. It was right there with Liberty as far as the time it opened up. So an early season bloomer. Empire was a good apple last year. I really got my first taste of Empire. I got that one there. It's a semi-dwarf, and then this here on the vertical axis. It was a very good, sweet, firm apple. Really had some folks like that apple. Let's go down and take a look at the couple of galas here in the vertical axis row that are blooming. In case you're wondering, I tore out a lot of trees in this vertical axis row. Winesap and Grimes Golden. I didn't care for them, just didn't like them. So I took them out and replanted with Fuji and Gala, and these two are the mature galas that have been here for a while. And you can see they're in full bloom. A lot of green in the trees this year with the bloom. With the not so cold winter we had, they were really ready to grow. So they're trying to grow at the same time they're blooming this year. And there is a bumble over there doing his job. I see a lot of mason bees and bumblebees doing the lion's work of the pollination here in the orchard. Not so many honeybees, but I do see some honeybees. I noticed the redbud trees are really competing with the apple trees this year for the insects. There's a little mason bee there. Interesting story about these galas here. They're on their second full leaf here in the orchard. And last year, right about midsummer, they stunted and died back. And I sprayed something on the ground to kill nutsedge, and I don't think they liked it at all. I'm not sure that that's what happened, but it was just really odd that it was just this group of trees that had that problem. Now you can see how many blossoms these little trees have. Certainly not going to let all of those set. Let's take a look at this tall spindle, and I want to talk to you about this hardening off problem. As the trees started to get some green growth on them this spring, I began to notice that a lot of the tops here on the tall spindle were dead, the top few inches of the trees. And I'm relatively certain that's going back to a hardening off problem, which is when a tree doesn't have time to fully mature the growth that it makes in the summer before we get cold. And I was a little concerned about that last year, simply because these trees hit a real growth spurt in August and a little bit into September. We had a very hot September, and the trees responded with growth. See, nearly every one of them just don't have any growth in that top portion. The trees really responded vigorously with growth and really made the majority of their growth in August. And then really about our coldest bit of the year was in the second week of November. And we reached 12 degrees pretty quick. And so I just wonder if that's what really killed this upper portion of the growth that was just slightly younger than some of the rest of it. Just something interesting, but almost to a T. Every one of these trees has got that problem. But they're often growing this year, and there you can even see some old growth. If I get my hand out of the way, some old growth from last summer, almost as if the tree was still trying to grow when it got cold. And that's not good. You won't have that kind of growth survive. But we're off and running this year. Got the new growth going. Just a magical time out here in the orchard and going by and looking at all the trees, seeing what's blooming, how it's blooming, and beginning to think about protecting those apples for the first time here very soon. So I hope you're set up for an apple bloom where you live, and you're ready to get out and enjoy some apple blossoms. Thanks for watching.